The storm that hit Ravenwood, Maine, was unlike any the town had seen in decades. The rain fell in sheets, lightning splitting the sky as thunder shook the valley. In the middle of the chaos, the ancient clock tower, silent for half a century, suddenly tolled at midnight. The echo rolled through the town, unsettling the residents. 17-year-old Lena Carter, always curious about local legends, recorded the eerie chime on her phone and shared it online, not realizing the danger she'd unleashed. By morning, her best friend Eli had vanished near the tower, his bike lying twisted at its gate. The townspeople avoided talking about it, their eyes filled with fear. Old Mr. Dyer, the town's oldest resident, whispered, "When the bell rings again, time takes its due." But Lena couldn't ignore the mystery. Something deep inside the clock tower was calling her name. Lena couldn't sleep after hearing the bell. The haunting rhythm echoed in her dreams, pulling her toward the heart of Ravenwood. Ignoring her parents' warnings, she slipped out before dawn and made her way to the tower. Its wooden doors creaked open as if expecting her. Inside, dust motes danced in the dim light that filtered through cracked glass. The gears turned on their own, grinding softly like a heartbeat. Lena ran her fingers along the brass plates and froze when she saw Eli's name carved beside dozens of others, each linked to unsolved disappearances. Then came the whispers, soft, rhythmic, and in reverse. Terrified, yet mesmerized, she wound the central gear backward. The whispers turned into her own name, spoken by a voice that wasn't human. A cold wind brushed past her ear, and the clock's pendulum began swinging faster, as if the tower itself had come alive. 18 midnight. Lena returned to the tower, drawn by forces she couldn't explain. The town slept, the streets cloaked in fog. As she climbed the spiral stairs, a chill settled over her skin. When the clock struck 12, the chime reverberated through her bones, and the walls began to weep of black, oily substance. From the darkness emerged a boy wearing tattered Victorian clothes, his pale face sorrowful. He introduced himself as Thomas, a spirit trapped since 1873. He explained that the tower was never a clock, but a prison that trapped time itself, feeding on souls to keep its gears turning. Eli was among the trapped, his spirit bound within the ticking mechanism. Thomas warned her, reversing time could free Eli but would awaken the Timekeeper, the being that ruled the clock. The air grew heavy as the pendulum froze mid-swing. Then the gears began turning backward, whispering her name again and again. Lena buried herself in research about the tower's creator, Horace Vane, an eccentric clockmaker obsessed with eternal life. She found old newspaper clippings that describe his descent into madness after his wife's mysterious death. One article mentioned his final project, a clock that would outlast death itself. In the town archives, Lena discovered the original blueprints sealed in a rusted metal box. The sketches showed a hidden chamber beneath the clock face, marked with crimson ink and strange symbols. When she traced the symbols, her hand began to tremble uncontrollably. That night, every clock in her home stopped precisely at midnight, the second hand frozen in place. From the silence came a faint ticking sound from inside her mirror. The reflection behind her shifted, revealing Horace Vane's ghostly image, his hollow eyes staring through the glass. He whispered, "Finish what I started, or time will finish you." The mayor of Ravenwood, desperate to calm the town, ordered the tower's demolition after 3 more people disappeared. But that night, as the demolition crew prepared their equipment, the bell rang 13 times, an impossible number. The sky bled crimson as the air grew thick with fog. Every light in town flickered out, plunging Ravenwood into darkness. Lena awoke to find the world frozen, people mid-step, rain hanging motionless in the air. Only she could move. In the eerie stillness, reflections in windows began to twitch and move independently. They spoke in broken whispers. "He knows you're coming. The Timekeeper waits." As Lena passed through the silent streets, she realized time itself had fractured. In her pocket, her phone buzzed with a notification, a new video posted on her account. showing her entering the tower, something she hadn't yet done. Determined to end it, Lena found Dr. Harlan Price, a retired historian who once studied the tower before his colleagues dismissed him as insane. Together, they broke into the base of the structure, following the scent of oil and rust. Beneath a loose floorboard, they uncovered a passage leading to the hidden chamber. Inside, hundreds of broken watches ticked backward, their hands spinning endlessly. On the walls were faded murals depicting the ritual of the Timekeeper's making, a blood sacrifice performed every century to keep the clock alive. Dr. Price realized the clock didn't count time, it consumed it. The final chime would reset the entire town's timeline, erasing everyone's existence. "It feeds on moments," he whispered. Lena understood then. To stop it, she'd have to break the cycle herself. She stared at the main gear, Eli's face reflected in its polished surface, pleading silently for freedom. The air inside the tower grew thick as metal groaned under unseen pressure. Lena faced the Timekeeper, an abomination forged from gears, bones, and fragments of broken clocks. Its voice echoed like 1,000 ticking seconds. "You've turned the hands too far," it rasped. As the structure began to collapse, Lena realized the only way to free Eli was to reverse time to the moment before the curse began. With trembling hands, she gripped the massive crank and forced it backward. The gears screamed, sparks flying as energy ripped through the room. Time folded inward. Eli's spirit was released, his voice fading in gratitude as the world unraveled around her. When the sun rose over Ravenwood, the tower still stood, but its hands were frozen at 11:59. The townspeople remembered nothing. Only a faint echo of a girl's laughter lingered in the air, just before everything went still. Years later, the tower was restored by developers turning Ravenwood into a tourist town. During testing, the engineers struck the bell, expecting a dull chime, but instead a whisper drifted through the air, low and mournful. In a nearby house, a new girl unpacked boxes in her attic and found an old, dust-covered photo of Lena Carter labeled "the girl who stopped time." That night, her watch stopped ticking at midnight. The tower's lights flickered, casting long shadows across the sleeping town. Then the bell began to hum softly, a heartbeat beneath the night. The girl stood frozen at her window as a reflection behind her smiled, a reflection that wasn't her own. The clock hands twitched once, then again, slowly moving toward 12. Ravenwood had forgotten the warning, but the tower hadn't. This time, it wasn't waiting to be found, it was calling.